Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a good day today. I want to talk to you guys. I want to tell you about some dreams I've had. I had one dream a few days ago, and then I had another dream early this morning. This dream was the most vivid dream I've ever had. It was like I dreamt it in high definition, and I could actually feel what was going on around me. I've never had a dream this vivid, and most of my dreams from the Holy Spirit are pretty vivid, but not like this. This was next level. When I woke up from this dream, I was disturbed in my spirit because of what I witnessed in the dream, and my wife and baby Lindsay were still sleeping, and so I went out to call my friend David and talk to him about it. And while I was discussing the dream with him, my wife was dreaming. And whenever I hung up with him from Messenger and spoke with my wife, she said, "I had a dream." I said, "Well, so did I." And her dream tied in with my dream and gave me the answers that I needed, or the understanding that I needed to the dream. And I want to discuss those dreams with you shortly. Before I do that, though, I want to let you guys know that my data here in the Philippines is I have like 800 MBs of data per day, so I can watch like 8 or 9 minutes of video if I want to, and then all my data is gone for the day. I can't use my phone for anything after that. So I don't watch videos. I don't watch other people's videos. I don't watch news or anything like that. I look at pictures, and I read the news feeds and things, and I read people's comments, but I don't actually watch the stories or anything. And that has helped me out a lot because I don't allow the outside world to influence my dreams. I don't sit around and watch, other people's visions and dreams of apocalyptic events and things like that, and I don't watch movies or television. We don't have a TV here. We don't have a radio. All we have is my phone and Lynn's phone. My mind is not influenced by that stuff. And but I do see things. I see the media manipulating people, both sides, the right and the left, and I see an agenda that is happening, and I see that most people are blind to that agenda. It's obvious that the left wants socialism. It's obvious that they want to bring in socialism. They've been pre-programming our children in college and schools for years and years and years to get them to accept it. And the older generation is rejecting it, or the conservatives, the right side. And then some of the younger generation is rejecting it as well. I see all these people that believe President Trump was appointed by God to make America great again and to bring God back. And there's all these wonderful stories about him. And then I see all the stories from the other side about all the horrible stories about him. It's just the thing to divide people. Same way as they're trying to divide us by race. The more they keep us divided, the more they keep the illusion going for their end game. I believe God uses the governments of the world to do things, and he appoints the governments of the world just like he did with the Roman Empire, where it's spoken about in Romans 13. He appointed the Roman Empire to do what they did. It was raised up to do what it did, just like Pharaoh was raised up to do what he did. And the Roman Empire brought everything to the end for the Jewish world, or Israelite world, in 70 AD, when the temple was destroyed. Their heaven and earth was destroyed. It was everything they knew. So I believe God is doing the same thing with the governments of the world today. Now, they don't know it. Each side has an agenda, but they're all friends. The world's just a chess game to them. They're not taking none of this stuff personal. They may act like it's all personal on television and stuff and act like it's a big fight, but they're all buddies behind the scene. It's just a show. The world is a stage, The end game is to get everybody fighting, and to get one side, and they don't care which side does it, to be the first to pull the trigger. And then when that happens, the end game begins. That's when everything happens. And whenever, that's when only the strong survive, and those who are left standing after all the fighting and the civil wars and the wars and everything else, that's when they come in and clean up the ones that are left, you know. But they're gonna let everybody else kill themselves first, you know. Why bother, you know, with doing anything when you just let them kill themselves, right? So I see that that's what's going on right now. I see that they are pushing this. They're pushing everybody to go to war, to fight with each other. And because they know something is about to happen, you know, and they're trying to put everything out and just bring in what assets they can have and protect what they have. I believe they think they can go deep under somewhere and survive what will happen, and then come out when the smoke is cleared and rule and reign. See, I think we're at the end of an age. I think all the stuff in the Bible was fulfilled already, but I believe patterns repeat themselves. And we're in one of those repeated patterns. It's just when those patterns repeat themselves, they repeat in a larger, bigger scale. You know, like with the 72 that was sent out, and then you go to 72,000 pairs and 144,000 and all that. It's just escalating. You know, things get bigger and bigger. It's like a snowball rolling. I believe this place is a program. It's a simulation. And if you'll look at a big spool of wire when it's on the back of an electrical truck, and they're unspooling that wire, they're pulling it out. As the wire comes off that spool, the spool starts spinning faster and faster and faster. But as it spins faster, it gets chaotic and really reckless. It wobbles around. That spool wobbles around and it gets crazy. It's you can't predict what it's going to do, but it gets really fast and out of control. And I think that's what's going on now. I think we're coming to the end of this program. And as the end of the program begins to unwind, before we get to the reset, things start getting chaotic, out of control, and crazy. And that's what's going on now. So anyway, I've got 7 minutes to go here. I want to start with my first dream. I dreamt I was in a room, but no one could see me. There was one man sitting at a table. He had grayish hair. And he was arguing with himself. All I could see was him at first, but he was arguing with himself. He was angry. He was mad. He was cursing. I couldn't really understand what he was saying, but I could see through his expressions. He was very angry, and then I could see he was sad. And then all of a sudden I saw behind him a woman probably in her middle 50s. She had blonde hair with a beehive. She was overweight. She was very loud and obnoxious, you know. And she was standing behind him, but she had one arm, her left arm, around his shoulder, and then she had her other arm around his other shoulder. Her left hand, she had a glass, and in her right hand, she had a bottle of scotch. And she kept saying to him, "Have another scotch, Phil. Why don't you have another scotch, Phil? Another scotch would make you feel so much better, Phil." And then she looked up and she looked right at me. And she's the only one that could see me. The man couldn't see me. And she looked at me and she said, "Well, it looks like Phil can't get his fill." And then I woke up. I remembered her beehive, and I was thinking the hive mind. And she used the hive mind, you know, trying to get him to take another drink of scotch. And I was thinking of scotch, you know, and it made me think of Scotland. And then I thought of King James VI of Scotland, you know, is where he was from. And the lady reminded me of a whore, an old whore. And she was trying to keep him in his carnal mind, the hive mind, you know. And he was fighting. He was struggling with it. He couldn't, you know, he was hung up on politics, religion, everything that this world was feeding him. And he was sad, but he was fighting. And it was just angry. It was a very strange dream. I looked up the name Phil, and the name Phil means a lover of horses. And I thought about how horses, you know, when they're wild, a wild horse is happy because it's free. It can run, it can kick, it can do what it wants to do. But a tamed horse, a broken horse, is corralled. It's fenced in. It can't spread its wings, per se. You know, it's trapped in its mind. You know, it's not free to escape its mind. And that's what I saw in this dream. Now, the dream that I had last night, the reason I'm sharing the dream that I had last night with this one is because I believe they all tie together. And you know, I believe I'm going to cut this video off from here, and I'll start the next video with the second dream, and we'll go from there. But remember, the beehive and Phil and the dream, and remember what this world is, if we look at it as a simulation, as a program, and that we're coming at the end of the program. It's unspooling. It's getting chaotic. It's getting chaos, and things seem out of control, but there's a purpose behind it all. And anyway, I'll get on with part 2 shortly, and we'll go from there. But keep in mind all this stuff that I just spoke about in this dream, and then we'll pick up on part 2. I love you guys. God bless you all.